I do whine because I want to win, and I'm not happy if
Are
I'm not
whiners
winning.
winners?
And I am a whiner, and I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining until I win. And I'm going to win for the country, and I'm going to make our country great again.
That's Donald Trump on CNN this morning. Joining us now is Congressman Gohmert, Vice Chair of the House Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security Committee, and of course, Congressman from the great state of Texas, the first congressional district of that great state. Hello, Congressman.
Hey, Steve. Great to talk to you as always.
Always great to talk to you. So, so what's your take on Donald Trump? And he, by the way, he says he's a whiner. Yes, he admits he's a whiner, but he's a winner. He whines until he wins, which sounds good to me if he gets the job done. What's your take on him?
Well, I guess I might have a bit of a slanted view because the only time I've ever visited with Trump was very brief. He was I was speaking after him at a big conference in New Hampshire, and there wasn't much room between the blue curtain and the door where I came in. He was coming off the stage. I was about to go through the curtain. We met. Our faces are 6 inches apart, and he says, "Louis Gohmert," and he starts punching me in the chest. "I love you. You're great. You're really great. I love what you're doing. Did you get my contribution?" I said, "Yeah, I just got that." He said, "Well, you're great." Steve, that's the extent of my conversation, and it's hard to feel badly towards someone that keeps telling you how great you are, and they sent you money.
That's very true.
That's a little skewed view, but anyway, I told Ted Cruz some months back that I would endorse him. He waited a while to come out with it, but I think Ted's great, but I'm telling you, I think Trump adds immeasurably to the debates. The thing I knew it would do in any debate in which he participated was force everybody out from behind their trees and rocks. People were going to have to come out and actually say what they believed. They weren't going to be able to hide behind, political answers and just fluff. They were going to have to actually stand up and say what they thought. And I was glad that Trump was going to cause that kind of effect in the debates, and I think he has.
Well, I want to be clear. So you told Ted Cruz you would endorse him. Have you endorsed him?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I told him he could go out make the endorsement public whenever he got ready. And
so how does he feel about what you're saying about Trump?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen that Ted has said he doesn't mind Trump being in the race. But no, I'll vote for Ted in the primary. But I'm really glad for what Trump's bringing to the debates. So yeah, and I don't think Ted feels any differently about that. He visited with Trump. I think he likes Trump, but no, I just think there are a lot of people, Ted not being one of them. Ted always tells you what he thinks as well, but some of our potential nominees would rather dodge serious questions, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that with Trump in the race.
It came out today that Hillary would lose to 4 Republican candidates in Iowa. And that's Carson, Huckabee, Walker, and Rubio. I mean, what do you think of her candidacy? And at the same time, Bernie Sanders got 27,000 people to his last event in L.A.
Wow. No, I hadn't seen that about Bernie, but that tells you there is dissatisfaction in the Democratic ranks over Hillary, as well there should be. But if you remember, it hadn't been that long ago where nobody was going to beat Hillary in Iowa, and then it looked like somebody might, and now you're pointing out 4. We're up to 4 that are polling better than Hillary in Iowa. So I think by the time it's all over, you'll have even more than 4 of the Republican candidates that would be beating her in Iowa. I mean, I've spent some time going on a bus tour across Iowa some years back with Steve King and some the Family Research Council and folks. And Steve had me up to Iowa last fall, and I'm telling you, I'm from Texas, love Texas, but I really enjoy the people of Iowa. I think they've got good judgment. That's why I think we'll have most of our candidates will be polling better than Hillary before it's all over.
All right, let me ask you about the Iran deal. Is there enough votes in the House? Can you envision that there will ever be enough votes in the House to override a presidential veto?
I don't know, but here's what needs to happen. The Senate, including Senator Corker, need to stand up and say, you know what, we passed the Corker bill before we had a chance to read the Iran so-called executive agreement. If it's an executive agreement, it doesn't require 2/3 of the Senate to ratify it. But now that it's been seen, it is very clear this is not an executive agreement. This is a treaty. No matter what you call it, it's what the Constitution anticipated would be a treaty. It's anticipated to be binding on future presidents. That's not an executive agreement. So we need the senators to stand up, McConnell, Corker, everybody, the Republicans, and say, you know what? Now that we've seen it, it is a treaty. The Corker bill does not apply. You cannot change requirements of the Constitution with legislation like the Corker bill.
So what do they do? Do they repeal Corker?
It takes 2/3 to ratify it.
Yeah,
that's what they need to say.
Well, could they just say that, or do they need to officially repeal the Corker bill?
I think that, well, like I say, you can't do something that undoes the Constitution with legislation.
Right.
So that act is not legal. So yeah, maybe it would help clarify it if they said what I just said, put it in a resolution that the Iran deal as proposed is clearly a treaty, therefore it takes 2/3 to ratify it. But it doesn't matter whether we pass it or not. That's what the Constitution requires, and I feel sure as weak and the Supreme Court justices are, even as blind as they are, they would have to surely see that is a treaty that requires 2/3 of the Senate to ratify it.
One more, Congressman, in the last minute we have, and that is immigration. And, we keep seeing more and more people let into this country. It's happening quietly. It's happening under the radar. But the next wave is coming in.
Yep. And we have got to secure the border. We've seen when there were state troopers, Texas Rangers, game wardens down there on the border, people were not crossing where we had personnel. And that's what we need. We need to get federal personnel down there. I know there's talk about another Homeland Security bill coming across, but all we need to say is mandate that the border be secure and no one come in that's not allowed in. And, Steve, every time anybody mentions the word amnesty, legal status, things like that, then it lures more people
Absolutely.
out. Each time people die when groups are trying to get in.
It's a big neon sign. It's a big neon sign that says, come on in.
We should not discuss it. We shouldn't use those words. We should stop saying anything but secure the border. When the border's secure, then we can work out the rest of it.
Congressman,
that's what has to be done.
Great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Love talking to you. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Congressman Louis Gohmert, the Malzberg panel. Jessica Tarlov and Ford O'Connell's next. Don't miss it.